Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our little gathering of reflection and quiet thought. If you're joining me for the first time, I'm honored to have you here. Each week, we explore how Stoic wisdom written nearly 2,000 years ago can help us face the storms of modern life in America. If you find value in these reflections, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend. That way, we can continue to build this community of calm seekers in a noisy world. Now let me ask you, when was the last time you felt swallowed by chaos? For many Americans, the word chaos is not abstract, it's lived. Think about the daily news, cycle mass shootings, political shouting matches, hurricanes and wildfires, inflation reports, disease outbreaks, scandals, layoffs. It never seems to stop. Our phones light up with notifications that make our hearts race. You flip from one headline to another and suddenly you feel your chest tighten. That's chaos not just out there but inside your body. The Stoics lived in their own storms. Marcus Aurelius was emperor during plagues, wars, betrayals, and political conspiracies. Seneca faced exile, ridicule, and ultimately a death sentence from the emperor he advised. Epictetus was born a slave, beaten and left with a crippled leg. Yet all of them found a calm center. They discovered that the world could rage around them, but inside they could remain steady. So what did they know that we've forgotten? I want to take you to New York City, to a story that stayed with me. It was during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. Sirens were constant. Hospitals overflowed. People lost jobs, savings, and family members all at once. In that storm, a retired nurse named Evelyn volunteered at a community clinic in Queens. She was in her 70s, technically high risk herself, but she came every morning calmly taking blood pressures, handing out masks, speaking to panicked families. A younger volunteer asked her, "Aren't you scared?" Evelyn smiled and said, "Of course, but fear won't help me give this child her medicine. Calm will." That's Stoicism in action. Fear is natural, chaos is inevitable, but calm is a choice. Marcus Aurelius once wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When the stock market crashes, when the storms hit Florida, when politics grow ugly, when the diagnosis comes, our instinct is to panic, to spin, to shout. But Stoicism calls us back to what is actually in our control, our judgments, our choices, our inner state. Let me give you another image. Imagine a storm at sea. The waves are towering, the wind howls, rain lashes the deck. That's life most days. Now deep under the surface, the ocean is calm. No matter how wild it is above the depths, remain still. The Stoics believed we each carry that deep ocean within us. The discipline is learning how to live from that depth, not from the storm. But how do we do that in practice? I once counseled a man named Robert, a former steelworker from Pittsburgh. After the plant shut down, he felt lost. Bills piled up. His marriage frayed. He told me, "Every day I wake up already shaking." I asked him to try something stoic each morning before turning on the news, sit for 10 minutes, and write down what he could and could not control that day. Can you control whether the plant reopens today? No. Can you control whether you reach out to your brother for support? Yes. That simple act, separating chaos into what was his and what was not, began to steady him. After a few weeks, he said, "The news still shouts, but my mind whispers back, that's not mine to carry." Seneca taught this discipline when he wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Panic multiplies pain. Calm puts it in its true size." And isn't that true for us? Watch the 24-hour news long enough, and you begin to feel like the entire world is collapsing. But walk outside. Watch your neighbor walk their dog, see the mail delivered, feel the sun on your skin. Life is still here. Calm lives in those ordinary, steady rhythms. Friends, chaos is never going away. The Romans had plagues, fires, wars. We have pandemics, shootings, recessions. Tomorrow it will be something else. If we wait for the storm to stop before we find calm, we'll wait forever. Calm must be carried into the storm. I want to leave you with this image. For now, you are a mountain. Storms will pound against your slopes. Winds will tear at your summit. But the mountain does not chase the weather. It stands, still, silent, present. That mountain is your calm, and no storm can take it away unless you hand it over. When I talk about calm, I don't mean a shallow quiet like the silence of an empty room. I mean a rooted calm, the kind that can withstand earthquakes. That kind of calm is forged, not given. It's the fruit of discipline. Think of Epictetus. Born into slavery, beaten so badly, he walked with a limp for the rest of his life. He had every reason to curse the world, yet his teachings are filled not with bitterness, but with clarity. Why? Because he refused to give chaos power over his mind. He once told his students, "When we are hindered, disturbed, or made unhappy, let us never blame anyone but ourselves, that is, our own judgments. Chaos," he insisted, "is not the event, but the opinion we attach to it." This lesson struck me deeply when I visited a community in California that had been devastated by wildfires. Families lost homes overnight. Whole neighborhoods were reduced to ash. Yet in a temporary shelter, I met a woman named Carmen. She sat cross-legged on a cot, humming to her grandchildren, handing out small bags of crackers. Around her, people were crying, shouting, frantic. But she carried herself with an almost radiant stillness. I asked her later how she managed it. She said, "The fire already took my house. I won't let it take my spirit too." That is Stoicism in its purest form, drawing a line around your spirit and refusing to let the storm cross it. Here in America, we are told to stay informed. But too often informed means drowning in a flood of panic-inducing headlines. We confuse awareness with obsession. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Imagine if we actually believed that. Imagine if instead of letting every headline dictate our mood, we asked what is truly mine to act on. There is a story from a friend of mine, a retired firefighter in Detroit. He told me about working during a warehouse blaze. The building was collapsing. People were screaming sirens, howling. If you panic, he said, you die. Calm is what keeps you alive. Firefighters trained to breathe slowly, to narrow their focus to the next step, the next door, the next hose. That discipline turns chaos into sequence, and sequence into survival. We may not be firefighters, but our lives are full of burning buildings, arguments, layoffs, illness, unexpected phone calls at midnight. If we carry panic into them, we get consumed. If we carry calm, we create space for solutions. Let me tell you about Harold, a 68-year-old man from Ohio. He was diagnosed with cancer. At first, he told me he spent nights scrolling endlessly, reading every statistic, every horror story online. His anxiety spiked, his blood pressure rose. But then he remembered his grandfather's old saying, "Don't wrestle the whole bear at once. Just hold today." So Harold began a practice. Each morning he sat with his journal and wrote 3 things. 1 fear he could not control, 1 action he could take today, and 1 thing he was grateful for. Over months, his perspective shifted. He told me the cancer's still here. The treatments are hard, but I'm not living inside chaos anymore. I'm living inside today. That's calm in the storm, not because the storm ends, but because you stop living in tomorrow's storm before it arrives. The Stoics often used the metaphor of the inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius pictured it as a fortress inside the mind, a place no external force could breach. To find calm in chaos, we must learn to retreat there. This isn't withdrawal from life, it's returning to the command center. It's saying, yes, the world is loud, but I do not have to be. Think of the American culture of constant reaction. A celebrity tweets, and within minutes, millions respond with outrage. A news anchor stumbles over a phrase, and by evening, social media has turned it into a storm. But what if we practiced what the Stoics taught, to pause, to examine, to ask, does this deserve my disturbance? Often the answer is no. I recall speaking with Linda, a grandmother from Arizona, who found herself constantly stressed by the endless political debates on Facebook. Every time she logged in, she argued with strangers. It left her exhausted. Then one day she stopped. She told me I realized I don't have to attend every argument I'm invited to. Silence can be my reply. That's wisdom. That's calm. She didn't change the chaos of Facebook, she changed her participation in it. Chaos thrives on reaction. Calm grows in restraint. If I could give you one exercise to carry from the Stoics, it's this. The next time you feel chaos rising, don't speak. Don't act. Breathe. Ask, is this within my control? If not, let it pass. If yes, decide with care, not panic. This simple pause is the seed of calm. As we continue, I want you to remember storms will never stop. But within you, there is always a place that no fire, no flood, no shouting match can reach. The Stoics found it. So can we. We often think of calm as passive, as if being calm means doing nothing. But the Stoics show us that calm is active. It is strength under control. It is the hand that steadies the wheel when others are panicking. It is the voice that chooses quiet when others shout. Think of a pilot in turbulence. The passengers feel the plane shake. The drinks spill the fear rising. If the pilot panics, the whole cabin panics. But if the pilot speaks calmly, ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing some bumps, but everything is under control. That calm radiates outward. The turbulence hasn't stopped, but the fear has. Your calm, too, is contagious. In families, in workplaces, in communities, one calm person can lower the temperature for everyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock against which the waves crash. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." He didn't mean ignore the waves. He meant embody a steadiness that no wave can erode. I saw this lived out in a church basement in Louisiana after Hurricane Katrina. Families huddled together, their lives scattered. A local pastor walked among them, not preaching, not giving speeches, just sitting beside each family, listening, nodding, sometimes holding a hand. His calm was not words, but presence. People later told me that his quiet strength saved them from despair. This is what Stoicism points us to, calm not as escape, but as presence, strong, steady, rooted. In our chaotic age, we crave heroes who look like warriors charging into battles. But the Stoics remind us that sometimes the greater hero is the one who sits still, who refuses to be shaken, who calms others simply by standing firm. Now let me bring this closer to your daily life. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on I-95. Horns blare, tempers flare, you're late already. You can add to the chaos, shout, pound the wheel, curse the cars. Or you can breathe, accept that traffic is outside your control, and maybe use the moment to listen to music, to call a loved one, to reflect. One path multiplies chaos, the other multiplies calm. The traffic remains the same. The difference is you. Or picture a heated family argument. Old resentments flare, voices rise. You can jump in, raise your own voice, sharpen your words. Or you can choose calm listening first, speaking slowly, perhaps even stepping away. That calm does not mean weakness. It means you value peace over victory. Stoicism does not promise that chaos will vanish. It promises that we can carry calm into chaos, and that changes everything. So here's my challenge for you this week: when chaos comes, and it will pause, step back. Ask yourself, what is in my control? What is not? What deserves my peace and what does not? Then choose calm, not because it's easy, but because it's powerful. And let me end with this reflection from Seneca. The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. Friends, the world outside will always roar, but inside you can build a stillness that no storm can touch. That is the Stoic gift, and it is yours if you choose it. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's reflection brought you a little peace, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs calm in their own chaos. And I'd love to hear from you. When was the last time you found calm in the middle of a storm? Share your story in the comments, because your calm may inspire someone else. Until next time, may you stand like the rock, breathe like the deep ocean, and walk with calm even when the world is on fire.